If we don't have money, why are the Arabs here? If we don't have money, why are the Koreans here? If we don't have money, why is every immigrant that comes to America find their way into the black community to build their empire, their American dream on the black nightmare? So we have got to change that reality.
Guys, today I want us to dive into something that has been stirring up serious conversation in our community. Louis Farrakhan just dropped some hard truths about immigrants building wealth in black neighborhoods while distancing themselves from their black identity. Now, Louis is calling out groups who only show up solidarity when deportation knocks on their door. This hits different because we are talking about reparations, unity, and who really has stakes in America.
People that are not from the United States of America taking our resources. Why do we use our tax dollars to support people that are not from the United States of America? Especially, right? Because I'm going to paint it to you from both sides. From the conservative perspective, we want lower taxes, more freedom to do what we want to do with our money, and lower property taxes. From the Democrat perspective, they want lower property taxes and more affordability, which is basically the same thing, they just reworded it. White people, because we're going to use black and white. We're not going to go in the middle right now with all of the other ones, simply because it's just easier to substantiate an argument. White people say, this is our country, this is our land, get out of America. Black people say, or black culture, this is our country, we deserve reparations. This is what they say. We deserve reparations. Why are we giving money to this person and this group, and we not focusing on the African descendants of slaves, American descendants of slaves, right? So why are people against Trump removing the protections, allowing for people to come over here and pretend like they're seeking asylum when they're really just trying to come up financially? Deporting people that came over here illegally that then take up our resources. If we're rewording this to look a certain way, but in reality, when you start to break it down, for different reasons, different groups that traditionally don't see things the right way, and so they clash, want the same thing. And we have a president that, regardless of whether or not you actually like him as a person, is saying, well, we need to get these people up out of here that's not supposed to be here because they're not here legally, or they're taking advantage of taxpayers, or they're defrauding us and taking all of our money. Then why are we divided on certain issues that, if that's what you believe, it actually serves us both? Here's the thing, Mel Love. You said every black person in America is not a descendant of slave, but I get what you mean. The people that did it legally don't even like the people that's coming over here illegally. Because they say, and if you look at all of the different conversations that was happening during the 2024 election, they say, oh, you skipping the process. The people that are trying to do it legally are pissed off.
We have a stake here. We have helped to build this country. When the Civil War broke out, supposedly, Mr. Lincoln wanted to free the slaves, but according to his own words, he really didn't care whether America had slaves or not. He really wanted to save the Union. Black soldiers fought on the side of the North and the South. The Union was saved, but we were not.
Yeah.
We have done what every citizen should do, but we have gotten nothing from it. So America is in trouble. And we believe we have a solution to the problem. And if the solution is good for black people, it's good for America.
Yeah. With time fleeting, what is the solution?
If we are already separate but unequal, and there is not the will on the part of the United States government, nor is there a national will to reconcile the differences between black and white.
If you don't believe there is.
No, I don't.
All right. Well,
I really don't.
Okay, let's not qualify it then.
But when I say if, I'm speaking now for those who might think there is that possibility.
Why mollify them?
Huh?
Why
Well,
patronize them? Why accommodate them if that's not what you feel?
I don't wish for them at this point to feel that their thinking is discredited. But if in the course of this discourse and in the face of the overwhelming evidence that America really doesn't want black people, then look, let's tally up what is owed to us. Let's sit down and talk about a just solution, and I tell you, like Moses said to Pharaoh, let us go and do something for ourselves.
Okay, so let me understand this now. We're going to come up with several billion, I assume, huh?
I don't think this is the appropriate forum.
Well, no, I'm just trying
discuss.
to. I don't either, but I'm just trying to find out. Reparations not unlike, but certainly more substantial than those that were voted for the Japanese who were interned in World War II. Money which incidentally has yet to be forthcoming to them. Approved but not expended. Okay, I get that. Now, where are you going? Are you going then back to the homeland? Are you going back to the African continent? Is that your idea?
You know, again, all of these black people here have a stake here. We have a stake here, I think, that is more valid than those who just came here a few days, a few years ago. These are the children of those who built this. So, yes, we can go there or we can stay here. If we stay here, then why not separate and give to the children of those who built this country land and reparations that we may go and do something for ourselves. Now, I did mention, however, that there is the possibility of some of us returning to Africa. Africa is in need of the scholarship that we have gained from our sojourn in America. And just as England let go some of her convicts who had no hope, languishing in prisons, to help build this, and just as Britain let go of her convicts to build Australia and New Zealand, we have 609,000 black young men behind prison bars with no hope at all. Since we have the ability to reform them, let us reform them. Give us our title. Look, wait, just 1 minute. Since Africa had a part in our coming here, for it was some African brothers of ours who helped to sell us. And there were some Arabs who had a part in it. There were some Jews who had a part in it. There were some Europeans who had a part in it, but the death blow was dealt by the slave masters here in what is called now the United States. So since we didn't give up our right to Africa, then why should not we petition our own kith and kin to set apart for the children of the slaves certain land and territory that some of us, particularly those who have no hope whatsoever in the society, let them go to begin to build a new reality for themselves and for their people.
In the homeland, in the land from which their kith and kin originated,
yes,
and from which they came. Now, those who choose not then to go to Africa.
Again, they have as much right here as you do.
Well, but wait a minute. We've got a deal here. We're letting people out of jail.
Yeah.
Well, that does complicate it just a little bit. Where do I, assuming that not all the brothers will wish to return to Africa, obviously I do not presume to speak for them, but it's not unreasonable to assume that not all of them want to go. Is it your notion that there should be an area within the continental United States to establish a nation, a separate nation?
If we agree that these brothers and sisters of ours can't get any justice within the social, political, and economic order that you call the United States.
You said if. You don't think they can.
Why shouldn't we be separated in a state or territory of our own?
Because then there's this imaginary line. You get some sheriff down there chewing mail pouch, and we've discussed this before.
But look,
all of a sudden somebody starts holding hands with somebody else at the drive-in theater, and then the racist words are heard in the night, and there goes the neighborhood. Come on, you can't possibly expect.
You can't trivialize the cry for justice. Right. Now, it was not impossible for England, France, America, and the United Nations to take land from the Palestinians and settle Jews in a state of their own, giving hope to oppressed Jews all over the world. Why should there be this trivialization of a desire on the part of black people, since we have not made it here, to go and do something for ourselves? We as black people have to provide a future for our people, for the government, and white people are not providing a future for us. So it is wrong for us to stay around laying at the foot of white people like the Bible's Lazarus, begging for crumbs that fall from their table when we can go and make a table of our own.
Minister Farrakhan, when you suggest, I'll just take a minute here, when you suggest that I trivialize your proposal, you speak to an attitude that I didn't present, far from trivializing it. I am merely asking you to consider the consequences of an isolated island of African Americans within the community that we now call the United States of America. And you use the state of Israel to support your notion and its practical possibilities. And yet you feel that Israel was immoral and unfair to Palestinians in its declaration of statehood in 1948.
But you had the will to take land from Palestinians. We have a more natural right to land in Africa or land here than the Jews had to Palestine.
Okay.
And if you could do that for them, sir, with all due respect, why is it so silly to think that we now should be some isolated ghetto? We can be isolated in the ghetto, but we can't be together in unity.
I didn't say
building a nation. No, you didn't say that, but I'm saying it. You think that we're going off into some isolation.
Well, where will it be? Where will it be? You want?
Well, that's something we have to discuss.
Yeah.
We have to negotiate that.
Yeah. May I ask you for some brief commentary on this before our break? This audience wants in here. You agree with Ronald Reagan that the welfare state creates a slave mentality, do for me, and is a kind of sleeping pill for the recipients, regardless of color. Do I understand you correctly?
You understand Mr. Reagan correctly. But a welfare mentality was created when my fathers and mothers were made slaves and robbed of the knowledge of themselves and dependent totally on a slave master for food, clothing, and shelter. So that when we were so-called set free, by the 13th Amendment, we didn't have the mentality of a free people to go and do for ourselves. So we turned right back around and volunteered our services for not free labor, but so close to free labor. So now Mr. Reagan says, we don't want welfare because it leads to dependence. We already have been made dependents, but he uses that as an excuse to cut back on what he was already giving to the people, and then never providing the safety net that he said he would put under those that he cut off. That is injustice, and it only compounds the evil.
In your interview with the Washington Post, you said, among other things, some Jews, and they shared with their readers the entire transcript, everything you said.
No.
No?
Oh,
they
no.
edited it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well.
But I can't say that these are not my words. And
No,
I
they
thank
are.
the Post for what they did.
Over a full
But
page.
my interview would have been probably 6 pages.
Okay. Some Jews have been, you say, some Jews have been responsible for characterizing black people as clowns and buffoons, using the movie industry to get that message over. This is a dialogue you're having. You say you on an island with Brock Peters. He's shooting a movie and a Jewish producer. I don't. Did he tell you he was Jewish, or did you just?
Oh, yes, sir.
He said, "I'm Jewish producer." You make the point. You make the point that he says to you, you know, when we feel some danger, when we feel something, we get together and we essentially create screenwriters. The creative community does things to ensure to set things right. You're suggesting that the guy felt he could manipulate, and you believe he could too. You're coming very close to saying that you know, that Jews control the media.
Oh.
But I want you to answer me this. Some Jews have been responsible for characterizing black people as clowns and buffoons, using the movie industry to get that message over. What do you think of Eddie Murphy?
Okay.
Let me just remind this audience, this is the #1 box office star in the wealthiest free market democratic system in the history of the universe.
Eddie Murphy is my brother. Yes. And I love him as a brother. Yes. And whatever criticism I have for Eddie Murphy, I would say that directly to him, and I wouldn't use this show to do that. But I think it's not to be diminished to Eddie Murphy. But if you look at the black man's self-image, the black woman's self-image, that image is created for us through centuries of miseducation. Now, if I, as a black person, or we as black person, do not have a healthy respect for ourselves, then we cannot expect anyone else to show respect for us unless we have respect for ourselves. But we cannot respect what we don't know. And so there's a crime of omission and a crime of commission that robbed black people of a knowledge of self that would cause us to love ourselves and love one another.
So you're not thrilled then with, for example, the kind of stand-up work that I'm mother effer, nigger. He uses the word nigger often. I'm asking you.
No, I am not thrilled to see not only Eddie Murphy, but there are many white comedians who use the same foul language and feed the American public as though the American public are human pigs who can only feel good when somebody is purveying filth and decadence over the radio, the television, and through the movies. And I think whether it's black or white, it is wrong, and it is bringing America down, down, down. And personally, I would hope that managers and those in show business would use our God-given talent in a much better way than to promote filth and decadence. I think that America has too much of that, and again, she's in trouble because of it.
Yes, ma'am. You'll be brief, I know.
I am so sick and tired of this chip that you're carrying on your shoulder. We have bent over backwards. We have done backflips to make you feel equal. And yet, we've done everything. A perfect example is in the federal government. If you and I get the exact same rating for a position, do you know what? You get it. And do you know why? Because you're black. Is that fair? Is that fair to me?
Please, you want to speak to that?
There is a woeful lack of understanding, not only in the black community, but really in the white community, of why black people are in the condition that we're in, and why all of the efforts that whites have made and government has made to try to solve the problem in the way that government sees fit has not really worked. And blacks are still crying out for more and more and more. And I realize that this is an irritant to white people because you really don't understand. And it's not really your fault. It's not really your fault, you just don't understand. But I think if you gave yourself a chance to hear what happened to these black people that makes them as they are as an irritant to you and those who think you have done the best you could. And maybe you have, but I respectfully suggest to you that there's so much more that could be done, that should be done, and that must be done if America is to survive. Believe me.
Esquire magazine, on your stand now, an outfit I have no personal interest or professional monetary interest in. Pete Hamill writes about racism going to college. Brown University, the alma mater of Amy Carter, a highly regarded institution. Niggers Go Home was founded.
Farrakhan isn't just talking about economics. He's talking about respect and historical memory. Think about it. Every freedom immigrants enjoy in America was fought for with black blood and black struggle. For 100 years of, building America from the ground. Yet somehow we are watching other groups go to America, into, black people's neighborhoods, set up shop, get wealthy, then move to white suburbs without looking back. Meanwhile, black people's dollars are keeping their businesses alive while still waiting on reparations. The question isn't about being anti-immigrant. It's about reciprocity, respect, and recognizing who laid the foundation. This is about identity, exploitation, and the uncomfortable truths we need to address. First, let's talk about this selective solidarity that's being, called out. You've got communities, Somalis, Dominicans, and others who distance themselves from blackness when it's convenient. They claim a different identity, seek proximity to whiteness, do whatever it takes to separate themselves from the struggle. But the moment ICE starts knocking on their doors or deportation becomes a threat, suddenly it's we are all black. We need to unite. That's not solidarity. That's survival tactics. And Farrakhan is saying we see right through it. Now, here's the economic reality that hits home. Immigrant groups come, they go to black neighborhoods not to build with them, but to build off from them. They set up businesses, extract wealth from the community, and once they've, secured their bag, they're gone. They move to white neighborhoods and, send their kids to better schools and leave black people exactly where they started. Or even worse, this isn't about hating on anyone's hustle. This is about recognizing a pattern of extraction without, reinvestment. Our dollars flow out, their wealth flows up, and we are left holding the bag. Farrakhan also brings up something that we can't ignore: the historical complicity. Arabs, Jewish, and some other African groups were involved in the slave trade that took black people to America. That's documented history. So when these same groups or their descendants go to America into black people's communities acting superior or even dismissive, that's not just disrespectful. It's historically tone deaf. Black people built America with 400 years of unpaid labor. They fought for every civil right that immigrants now benefit from. That's not opinion, that's fact. And let's address the elephant in the room. The idea of separate territory. Some people hear this and immediately think segregation or giving up. But Farrakhan is talking about self-determination. He's saying if there's no national will to provide true justice and reparations, then black people should be given their land, either in America or in Africa, so that black people can build for themselves. Here's what it comes down to: respect, reciprocity, and recognition. If you're going to benefit from the freedoms black Americans died for, the least you can, the least you can do is show respect. If you're going to build wealth in, black neighborhoods, reinvest in those communities. And if you're going to call for unity, make sure it's not just when your own survival is on the line. This conversation isn't comfortable. I know that for a fact. But growth never is. We need to stop accepting less than we deserve and start demanding what we've earned. Well, guys, I need to hear from you. Drop a comment below, let me know. And also remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time, bye-bye.